Hey, what's up? It's Comic 95 the Savior, and for this video, I want to talk about a post that I saw on Facebook, and I feel like it related back to Japan, but it has to do with literally everywhere in the world, and it was a conversation, and I think it was I don't know if it was a man or a woman that posted it. I actually have to look back at it, but we're just going to talk. I'm not going to bother to try to find it. I had multiple friends, maybe 3 or 4 people actually shared this on my friends list on Facebook, and I couldn't have disagreed more. So before I give you my opinion, let me first start off by saying I am a married woman. Now, after I've said that to you, I also want to let you know that I have spent years and years, anybody that's been watching my channel, dating tons of dudes a year. Like, I've dated more men than I can remember. And let me also keep in mind, or remind you guys, dating does not mean, excuse me, my voice is gone. Dating does not mean fucking, okay? Like, you can date people without having sex with them, okay? In fact, most people that I dated never even got to kiss me, alright? Let's get that very clear. A date is literally you going out and doing some sort of activity, whether it be eating food, going to see a movie, going to a museum, going for a walk in the park, going to drink coffee, etc., to get to know each other and decide, do you want to move forward to the next step of that relationship, meaning becoming exclusive boyfriend, girlfriend, and or eventually getting married. I've done that countless times. Now, sleeping with each other is a whole nother story. Now, back on subject. None of your business. Yeah. I saw this post and it was saying that in order for you to become a wife, in order to get married, you have to act like a wife. Basically, treat your husband like, you know, that's your husband. Treat your boyfriend, your date, like they're your husband. And a lot of women were getting really upset over it. And a lot of men were saying like, oh yeah, like, you know, that's true, like, y'all ain't married, blah, blah. And I couldn't have disagreed with that post more. Now, let me go back and remind you that there's 2 different sides to this. I'm going to play a little bit of devil's advocate, okay? Got a little bit of smoke for both sides. I agree and disagree with that post. I disagree with it in the sense that the person who shared it was saying, but I agree with it in the sense that they are telling the truth, because you do have to act like a wife in order to become a wife. Likewise, this is the part that's always left out, you need to act like a husband in order to become a husband. But that's the thing, men don't care about being husbands for the most part. They don't care. They choose to be a husband for normally 2-3 reasons, and let me just say them before I give numbers for them. Number 1, they notice the people around them getting married, and they think, I'm speaking for Japan in particular, but this can also have to do with your home country too. I'm an American, FYI. But, hey, you notice, alright, I'm getting older, all of my friends are married, except for me. Maybe I should probably try to find a serious relationship. Then you have number 2. You really like a girl that you're with, and you're totally fine just being boyfriend, girlfriend for years and years and years, if not forever. You think, why do I need to sign a fucking piece of paper when I can just leave the relationship whenever I want to by not signing that dumb piece of paper? Easy, right? But you really like this girl, so you're like, fuck it. She wants to get married, alright, fine. I'll make you happy. We'll do it. That's number 2. Then you have reason number 3. Is there a reason number 3? I don't even fucking know. Of course, your own want to get married. And then, I mean, let's also keep it real. There are benefits to being married from a man's perspective. For starts, you have one consistent, stable partner to have sexual relationships with. And if you do want to have children, you have one stable partner to, you know, plant your seeds in. Alright? So, of course, you can also have a partner that you can have fun and do adventurous things with, etc. I'm not talking about that one-off good man that you find. I'm talking about men in general. Generally, men find they say it all the time online. It's not just me. Online and in person. Most of my friends are male. They just don't see no benefit in getting married. Everything that men want in a marriage, women now do for free. And what I'm getting at is not to bash women. I'm saying this is proof that acting like a wife don't make you a wife. Do you get what I'm trying to say? The whole reason why this whole casual sex, sexual liberation, other type of stuff even exists in the first place is because women started doing stuff that we used to not do unless we were in not only a relationship, but we required marriage. If you weren't willing to marry us, we weren't going to F you at all. And mind you, back in the day, the reason why people were able to keep their legs closed and be virgins before marriage, etc., because dating didn't exist back then. People oftentimes leave that part out. Because if you think about it, nobody dated for no 6 months, 2 years, 3 years. That's ridiculously long. That's hard for a man or woman when you really love each other. Very difficult for a man. Men generally have higher sex drives, and they're normally more sex driven than women are. No matter how much you like sex as a woman. Trust me, I like sex. But you know what I mean? It's very different for them. It's hard for them to give up having sex while being in a committed relationship. And some men do make it happen. I'm not saying it's impossible for them to do. But a lot of the time, they don't. They're either cheating on you, they're masturbating, they're doing something to ease that tension up. So with that said, it's like, we're going against the way things used to be back in the day. Not necessarily saying that it's right or wrong. Kinda, wrong how we're doing it now. But you get what I'm trying to say? It's like, we've made it where there's nothing sacred about being married, basically. Everything that you're doing in a marriage, we are now doing in a relationship. And so don't get me wrong, as somebody that's been married for less than a month as of the making of this video, we definitely move differently now that we are married. But at the same time, I also recognize a lot of the special things that you would normally do in a marriage, just keeping it real, I already did in the boyfriend-girlfriend phase. Not getting all up in my business, but just, we're all grown here. Yes, I had sex with my boyfriend multiple times before we got married. But you get what I'm trying to say? Like, that used to be a special thing. Doing things like, going all out and cooking and cleaning and doing his laundry, etc. We do that. Some of y'all do before you even move in. And that's fine. But my point is just this. I'm not bashing the women. I'm talking about the men. These girls are already doing wife-like stuff for you. And you've decided that it's not enough. Instead, how you see it is, instead of being like, oh, wow, this woman should be my wife. Instead, you're like, wow, she's really a great girlfriend. This is what guys think. If they even think that part. Instead, oh, thanks for doing my laundry. Marry you. I can clean myself. Okay, then how do I show that I'm a wife? Having sex isn't enough. Doing your laundry isn't enough. Cooking and cleaning isn't enough. That's 4 things right there that, typically, traditionally are feminine things for a woman to do for you. For the people to say, oh, a grown man should cook, clean, whatever. Let's keep it real. Most men don't learn to do those things. Most men don't care to learn to do those things. And they're normally frowned upon. And seen as feminine. Yeah, you are right. You should know how to clean and cook. You're right. But do most men know how? No. And knowing how to do it in a survival skill type thing is completely different from being good at it. Everybody knows how to clean their ass, but are you good at it? No. Everybody knows how to cook. You can learn how. It's very easy. We have YouTube. It's not that hard once you learn how to turn the fucking eye on your stove. Okay. Sure, you can either use a microwave or an oven. Even easier. So, it's not a matter of not knowing how to do it, but being good at doing it. And plus, just because you can do something doesn't mean you wouldn't prefer someone else to do it for you. I'm sure most of us know how to make chicken tenders at home or fried chicken. But would you rather go to Harold's? Or would you rather go to Popeyes or whatever? Or would you rather cook it yourself? Most of us would rather go out to eat the same food that we can make at home for possibly cheaper. So, yeah, it's the same concept. It feels different. It feels better when someone that's supposed to love you is doing these things for you. For example, I had this argument online on Twitter. Sex toys and crap that does exist. Yes, we get all of that. But at the same time, does it replace having an actual physical partner that can speak to you, respond to you, go out and do stuff with you? No, it does not. I can promise you. I have spent years using my vibrator, and having an actual husband to pleasure you and make you feel good and go out and do stuff and having an ear to listen to you is completely different than even having a boyfriend. Because I want to talk about this on another video, not right now, but the way that I talk to my husband is completely, so weird. Oh my god, my husband. But anyway, the way that I talk to my husband is completely different than even how I spoke to him as a boyfriend. Like, the way that we make moves are so different now. There's more a care of the future. There's more care towards how things affect me. There's more of a I'm looking out for you, I'm protecting you type feel that I get from my husband than I got from him when he was my boyfriend. There's a completely different feel from being with a physical partner that can respond to you, even when we get angry and fight, because we do that too, than having just some plastic toy or, metal toy, whatever, that you just throw to the side after, you fucking come all over it and shit, okay? It's totally different. It's not the same. You cannot replace having a physical partner. Just because you know how to cook and clean for yourself does not mean that you don't need a wife. And so this isn't an argument to try to prove to you why you need a wife, but I'm really just saying that I'm tired of people trying to pretend like the reason why women aren't married is because we're not acting like wives. I'm a married woman. I'm not bitter, okay? I'm just telling you this is a fucking lie, and I'm saying it as a wife. It's a lie. It has nothing to do with you not being a wife. It has everything to do with you trying to be a wife to the wrong person. Hear that again. It's nothing to do with you not being a wife. It has everything to do with you not being a wife to the wrong, or you being a wife to the wrong person. You can be the best woman in the world, but if you're trying to impress a man that has no interest in getting married, that doesn't see you as a potential candidate, that's not truly attracted to you, you are wasting your time. Don't listen to what that man says. Look at his actions. Anytime a man is telling you that he doesn't like the idea of marriage, is telling you his crappy ideas of, polygamy and, whatever type of garbage like that, run. He does not respect, honor, and value you, because if he did, he would do anything he can to avoid losing you. And I'm going to keep it real with you. That's exactly what my husband did with me. And this is going to get into the realm TMI to save for another video, but I'm going to just keep it real. My now husband, he honestly didn't want to get married right now. He wanted to wait a few years. But when he realized this was an ultimatum, if you truly love me and you don't want to let me go, and you realize I'm a once-in-a-lifetime woman that you are going to meet, I'm the girl of your dreams, you gotta do it now. I give you 1 year. That was my ultimatum for him. You have 1 year. He made it happen. It had nothing to do with me putting on some 5-star service for him. Did I treat him like trash? I ain't gonna do anything for you unless you marry. No, I didn't say that. I did act like a wife to him. I treated him well. I showed him, this is the preview. This is the commercial reel. This is what you're going to get. And more, if I am your wife. I showed him the value in marrying me. And the problem that a lot of women have is, we think that we need to stay with him longer and longer and longer and longer, and that hopefully after years he'll realize you've been his biggest cheerleader on the sidelines and he'll marry you. And that's absolutely not true. I've been there, done that. Patreon can speak for me. I've done some really dumb, desperate things for men. I've done things I haven't even shared about on YouTube yet. I've made some huge mistakes with dating men. I've let people use me, abuse me, everything you could possibly think of. Because I felt that this was normal. I thought that I had to do this. I didn't grow up with a good relationship in front of me. My parents are legally married, but their relationship is extremely toxic even to this day. My parents don't give me relationship advice. I had to learn everything the hard way by myself. I was gullible, dumb, naive, and stupid. I believe if a man says he loves you, then he loves you. Why would you lie about that? That's the person that I was in my early 20s, okay? I learned from being lied to repeatedly, having my heart broken repeatedly. I was desperate, okay? I speak from personal experience. I'm not crapping on you. So yeah, it makes me so angry when I see this, because this is literally men saying that what you're doing is not enough despite all the crap you're doing. And I'm not giving no examples of no ghetto hoochie mamas that, are fast and slutty and ghetto and masculine and manly. No. Those are the exceptions and not the rule. I'm not talking about those ghetto women. I'm talking about regular, average women. In this day and time, the sweet girls that be sending me emails, leaving comments, asking me for advice on their relationships, they are none of the monsters that you men have made them out to be, and acting like, oh, well, if you acted like a wife. No, if anything, acting like they're not your wife is probably a faster road to getting married. They're pretending to be a wife. I'm not advising you to do that. I'm just saying, because what we're doing right now is not working. All we're doing is showing men that if we give you wife benefits, you find no reason to make the woman a wife. And you're right, as the saying goes, why buy the cow when the milk is free? If you can get sex, you can get a housemaid, you can get a girl to go out and play video games with you, go, whatever type of dates and vacations and crap with you. Why do I need to get married? You'll even have my baby. Why do I need to get married? There's literally no reason from a man's perspective. Smart men see the value, but I'm saying for a lot of men, there's no purpose anymore. Because, okay, I'm sorry, my nose itches. I can get everything that I want already. There's no reason for me to commit to you, is how they see it. And so, I'm not agreeing with men's idea on that. I'm just angry that men have the audacity to say, you're not a wife because you're not acting like one. No, you're not a wife because you're acting like one to the wrong man. That's really coming down to. Then also find it really funny. Let's also flip this. If women need to act like a wife to secure a husband, wouldn't that mean the men need to act like a husband to secure a wife? And of course, when the girls started saying that at the comments, the men were, oh, you're just messing around with the wrong type of men. And people, you're getting triggered. I couldn't help but notice that every single and I'm sorry, if you're my friend watching this, yep, I'm talking about your bitch ass. Every single last man that I personally knew or whose profile that I visited that liked that comment, and I was saying, oh, you got triggered, whatever. Oh, you mess with the wrong men. Look at your profile. Your pants are sagging. You have no university degree. You have baby mamas. You're living in your mama house. You don't have your own car. What about you as husband material? You're not even making an average salary. My nigga, you got food stamps. The fuck are you talking about? You messing with the wrong men. You mean niggas like you? What? my brain just lost it. And then I was like, this is the reason why we have so many problems nowadays with our generation with dating and whatnot. Because they don't want to be accountable. These are the same men. They want you to give up pussy. And if you don't give them sex in a few months, and shoot, normally after a few dates, they gone. I thought you wanted me to act like a wife. And you wanted me to be this virgin, innocent, not throwing pussy around woman, type of woman that doesn't just open up to any key. The type of lock that, not any key can open. But then if I don't do that, then I'm not worthy of being with you because you ain't got time for that. But these are the same men that want to go 50-50 with you on bills. These are the same men that want you to pay for the date. These are the same men that want you to at least pay for your half of the date. That's husband-like? Then the age-old argument, we're expecting men to make X amount of money. Do you guys forget about not only inflation, but times have changed? Women back in the day didn't work. So by that same standard, back in the day, women were satisfied with a carpenter or whatever. You know what that carpenter did? He provided for the entire family. Yep. Are you doing that with your job? Nope. You want to stay inside the same crappy job the men had back in the day. But then you want a woman to still act like a modern woman and have a modern woman job and lifestyle. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So you want her to pay 50-50 while you get to live back in the old days of being able to run around, cheat, get your dick wet by every girl inside the community, spread babies around the world like Nick Cannon, and on top of that, you want to have a woman that, so basically you get to live in the past, and she needs to live in the future, while also living in the past too when it benefits you. And let's also keep it real. It's never 50-50. Anytime you're inside a relationship where you're doing things 50-50, what it really comes down to is a woman is still going to be stuck doing the child rearing, the cooking and cleaning, etc. Why? Because I'm not talking about your unicorn relationship. It's well, actually, me and my husband do 50-50. No. Generally speaking, on average, women end up doing more of the housework anyway, even if you all are both working. Women still end up being the ones that take care of the child the most. They end up being the ones that cook the most, the ones that clean the most. My husband just messaged me. Hold on, people. It's just the way that it goes. Give me a second. Okay, I'm sorry about that, y'all. But yeah, the sun's starting to come up. It's dark outside. Well, it was dark outside. But, anyway, yeah. So I forgot what I was saying to you guys. Anyway, just in a nutshell, just find it really funny that these men are trying to pretend like the quality of women are just bad and everybody's just this whore or whatever. And it's like, no, the real issue is women have been acting like wives for the longest. You guys have gotten spoiled, and you realize that there's no purpose for getting married because all of the reasons that men used to have to get married, they're gone. You can make babies, you can have sex, you can get a partner to go travel with you, do whatever, live with you, cook, clean, play, maid. And even the sadder part is seeing women, I'll talk about this in another video, that are like in 10-year, 6-year, 5-year, even 3-year relationships, to be honest. But to me, 3 years is a cap. There's no reason as a grown woman that a man needs more than 3 years of your life to decide if he wants to marry you. And the reality is, while people try to give these horror stories about how their partner changed after a year, 6 months, whatever, dating somebody for 5 years doesn't mean that on year 6 they're not going to change. Dating them for 10 years doesn't mean on year 11 they're not going to change. That just means that you had a bad partner. They would have shown themselves at some point, at any point in a relationship. Doesn't matter how long you dated. I'm not suggesting to meet for a day, get married the next necessarily, but I am saying that if you are certain about somebody, you know it right away. You don't need that long. I would honestly say that within about 6 months, you know that this is the one. That simple. And people keep trying to make it seem like, oh, you know, well, we dated for 10 years. This is the thing that's so crazy. I'll make another video on this topic, but in fact, maybe I won't. I'll do it right here. I learned this recently, and I agree with this so much. And I saw this on Facebook too. These are not my own words. I'm paraphrasing it basically. They said, men are not like women. They know what they want. They get what they want. They don't compromise. They don't sacrifice. They put themselves first, always, in every scenario. They never put themselves second. They will always be first. They will always get what they want. But women, we always put ourselves second, third, fourth, fifth. We compromise. We sacrifice. We don't know what we want, but we know what other people want, and we make sure we give that to them. Typically men. And it blew my mind, because to put that into perspective for you, it was explaining that women will change their wants and goals to try to keep a man, but a man will get rid of a woman to maintain his wants and goals. And that changed my life reading that, because it was so fucking true. Every time I've dated a guy, almost every time, I've dated some really good guys. For example, my ex-fiance was a good man, not gonna lie on him. But they do not change, generally speaking, what their plans and goals are. You ain't gonna laugh up his life. He'd rather lose the bitch than lose the dream. But for women, it's the opposite. We want to keep that nigga. We'll give up our dreams. We don't care if we wanted to get married, you know, in a year. We'll change it to 10 years. We'll stay being an in-house girlfriend for 20 years if it means keeping that man. Not trying to bash my family, just keeping it real. My grandmother dropped out of university her last semester away from getting a bachelor's degree to marry an abusive, lying, cheating, awful husband. My grandfather is dead. I'm not trying to bash a dad, man. Just keeping it real. He wasn't a good man. Wasn't a good father. Wasn't a good husband. He would never do that for her. Would my grandfather have dropped out of his last semester? No. What do these men do? I'll marry you when I'm finished. If you still around. They'll convince you, they'll persuade you to stay and wait. And if you ain't willing to do it, alright, on to the next one. They ain't crying over you. Not for more than a second. It just completely, sorry guys, you messaged me again. It just completely like blew my mind. Like, wow, we move completely differently. And I feel like this all goes back into the same thing. Okay, sorry you guys. I hope that's the last time. He's probably going to message me again. He's working right now. He'll be home in, what, maybe an hour or so? But, yeah. I'm so aggravated by that. Because I think that a lot of women feel like they're not doing enough. And then a lot of men feel like women aren't doing enough. Which is funny too, because like, This is going to show you that humans are never satisfied. No matter how much you do for these men, they're not going to think it's enough. They're going to feel like, well, you should be doing more. Or maybe you're doing everything. It's, oh, well, you don't look like a wife. Then it's like, okay, if you felt that this woman wasn't wife material, and you know she's trying to play wife for you, or she's trying to get a husband, why are you wasting her time, man? That's not very husband-like of you, or man-like of you. That's not old-fashioned or traditional. Why are you wasting her time if you know you don't want to get married? And I hate this too, that I've seen some girls do this recently too with this modern shit, where instead of just telling somebody up front they don't want a relationship, stringing people on. And it's like, again, this is a whole other video topic, but it's like, if you know you don't want to marry him, tell him. Because you're wasting his time, wasting his money. That man likely would not be paying for those dates if he knew not only was he not going to get sex out of you right now, but you don't even want to be his girlfriend. You're looking for just casual dating. What the fuck does that mean? Then I hate when girls do that, because then it gives men the excuse to be, oh, look, she's not a wife. This is why I don't do this shit for these hoes, whatever. And it's like, no. Because you have men that will pay for dates and do everything like that. They'll do everything but commit to you. Or they'll commit to you on a boyfriend-girlfriend level, but they won't go the next step and ever walk you down that damn aisle. They're not even going to go to the courthouse with you. So it's like, okay, what more do we have to do? What more do we have to do? And better yet, if we have to act like a wife by doing all of this shit for you, why do you get to escape acting like a husband? Because most of these men, they can't even afford to pay for dates. They can't afford to give you a ride in a car. They can't afford to go on vacations with you. Nothing. And these are the men that are the most vocal, that have the most opinions on this 50-50 stuff, the most opinions on why they don't want to marry you, whatever. It has nothing to do with women not doing their role. It's you. It's not women. I did the exact same thing that I've done for every man I've ever dated. And I became the wife to one man. I didn't suddenly wake up and completely change the way that I was moving. Over the years, yes, I did change some things. But it wasn't so much a matter of me changing the way that I was acting to make myself more of a wife for these men. But rather, I changed the way that I was thinking and working with men to avoid getting people, having people take advantage of me. I changed the type of men that I was willing to date. Not in the sense that I was going after the bad boy type necessarily. But I realized these broke ninjas ain't trying to get married. And I stopped fucking with them and pouring my heart out to them. Wasting my time, wasting my breath, wasting my body on these men. That's what I did. I continue to do the same stuff. Cook, clean, do laundry, be a listening ear, play games, make you feel good about yourself, offer good sex, etc. Things that men actually fucking like. And then the idea that men keep trying to diminish this. I talked about this on Twitter too. But men and women. Sex is important. People can say, what do you bring to the table? Well, pussy, sex, whatever. That's average. Every woman comes with that. Actually, no, that's not true. A lot of women don't like sex. And what else are we supposed to do? Bring a dick to the table? You want me to fuck you in the ass or some shit? Like, please explain to me. Men act like nothing that you do is enough for them. Because by that same standard, what do you bring to the table? What do you bring to the table? A 6-figure salary? Okay, well, a lot of women make that now, too. And your point? You got a good job, you got an education? Okay, me too. This is stupid. It's gaslighting at its finest. You're literally trying to pretend like what these women want is crazy, unrealistic. What they're doing is not enough. When really the reality is, you're trying to make them feel like they owe you. You're trying to make them feel like they're not good enough for you. They're not deserving of you. They're nothing. They're worthless. They're useless. They're replaceable. That's what this whole what do you bring to the table conversation is really all about. It has nothing to do with the table. It has nothing to do with you and what you're doing or capable of doing, whatever. It's all about you ain't shit, I'm everything. Because if a woman cooking, cleaning, bringing sex ain't enough, how is you being a polygamous cheating partner with a $100K salary? Okay, like that's what you bring to the table? Infidelity and cash? What? So if infidelity and cash is what you bring to the table, now how is me bringing cooking, cleaning, and sex not? We're supposed to be different. We shouldn't be providing the same thing. We like different things. I made another video about this already, and I said this. Women decide every day that we prefer stability, financial stability, and security over looks. A woman will gladly date a millionaire that's 5'2" and 300 pounds over a broke nigga on fries at McDonald's that's 6 feet tall and handsome. We know that money is more important because we think about our future. We think in a sense of luxury. We want to have fun. We want to travel. We want to be taken care of. We want to buy nice makeup. We want our kids to go to a good university, etc. We want to be taken care of, okay? Whereas for men, they will choose the bird brain, no GED, on fries at McDonald's that's fine as hell, over the 250-pound, 5'6", ugly in the face, $250K a year woman. They don't care that you're a doctor. They don't care that you went to law school. They don't care that you're a nurse. They want a woman that looks good. That's what matters to them. It's the truth. Men decide every day beauty is most important. Women decide every day money is most important. And that's fine. We're different. We're not supposed to be the same. We like different things. And society keeps trying to, bash people and demonize them, make you seem like you're crazy, you're wrong, you're bad for wanting this. But it's natural. It's normal. It's okay. Sorry, he just messaged me again. I'll wait. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's okay to want something different. We're not supposed to like the same things. That's what makes us work. We fit together like a fucking puzzle piece, literally. And I gave this example before. It's like working on a project as a team. You do what you're good at, I do what I'm good at. We both bring it together and it makes the completed project. One person works on the board, one person works on, writing up the presentation. We put it all together, we get an A. That's what marriage is supposed to be like. It's not supposed to be a matter of us both trying to do the same thing. We're both trying to be the breadwinners. We're both competing with each other in bed. Like, it's not supposed to work that way. And if that's what you want to do, then fine, so be it. But stop lying and pretending like these girls aren't doing enough when you're the one not doing enough. You want us to play wife, but you don't want to have to play husband. You know what husbands do? They pay bills. You know what husbands do? They protect, they provide. Are you doing that? Nope. These are the same niggas talking about 50-50. Why can't you pay for your half of that? Oh, let's go out for Denny's for our date. But doing cheap shit like that. Struggling to spend $40 on you. They're not gonna pay for you to get your nails and hair done, etc. So you don't need to act like a husband, but I should marry you. And then later you'll tell me, well, I'll do that for my wife, but I'm not doing that for no random girl I'm dating. But I should be sucking your dick, giving you the slop 3000. I should be cooking you your favorite meal 5 days a week minimum. I should be, riding you reverse cowgirl style. I should be folding your laundry, just doing everything for her to prove that I'm a wife. And then the crazy thing is, you still ain't gonna marry me. It ain't gonna be anytime soon if you do. I gotta wait 5 years, 3 minimum, for you to decide if I'm even worthy of it. And then the craziest thing about it is, women lose in both scenarios, unlike men. As a woman, even if you get your ring after 5 or 6 years, you screwed yourself. Because that same man asked him if he'll wait for you for 5 or 6 years. No, the fuck he won't. He'll be fucking every girl around the block. But you need to wait 5 or 6 years. How is that fair? You screwed yourself over because now you are 5 or 6 years older. You have less time to be with your children. You have less time to give birth. You are less desirable to men when you go back out there in the market. Should things, fucking flop. Keeping it real with you. I'm not trying to be sexist or, whatever towards women. I'm a woman myself. I'm being real. And that's what I did have to learn. And I had to realize to put my foot down. Because at first, I used to think that I was just being selfish or crazy for wanting to get married early. And then I realized, no. I'm not crazy or selfish. I'm being smart. I'm recognizing these niggas are wasting my time. If I want to get married, I have to act and think like a man and prioritize marriage. Not in the sense where I say, oh, I'm dating to get married. Okay, 6 years. And men would never tell you that. They're like, oh, no, I need some time. Give me a year. Give me 3 years. When you are in your late 20s or approaching it, you don't have 3 years. You're a fool if you let a man do that to you. Because that same man you gonna wait 3 years for, tell him, I don't cook unless it's been 3 years. I don't have sex until it's been 3 years. You think he gonna stay with you? You think he gonna not cheat on you? You a fool. Don't ever do that to yourself. Men know. And if they don't know, that means you ain't his plan A. You is plan B, C, D, E, F, G. Don't ever be anybody's plan B. If he's not ready to marry you, he's ready to marry someone else. And the craziest thing is, I can use myself as an example. Do you know I got married after just 3 months? We decided to get married after what? About a month and a half or 2 months or whatever? Just shy of 2 months, basically. I am not the first woman that my husband has dated. He's dated other women. None of them got married. Do you want to know why? Because they were not the one. When you find the one, you change your mind, you change your plans, and you do and move differently to keep the one that you want. That's the way that men work. What he ain't do for her, he did for me. You need to remember that. So the man that you're with is asking for more time. He ain't gonna ask Beyonce for 3 years. Just keep that in mind. So why are you accepting a 3-year deal? You might say, oh, I don't like Beyonce. Do I look like Beyonce to you? My big fat black ass? No, the fuck I don't. Okay, I'm keeping it real with myself. You ain't gotta be that for everybody else. You want one man to see that value in you. One man to realize you are the one. One man to like, love, and want you. It don't matter what everybody else see, think, want, whatever. And it's more than just looks, too. You need that one man. It hurts and it's hard, but you have to learn to let go. Because if you don't let go and you try to hold on and make it work and wait things out, you are going back out into the marketplace, older, less desirable. I'm just keeping it real. It's not impossible, but you're making it harder for yourself. Like I said, this is the hardest part that women have to understand. I have to learn this too. Thankfully, I got to learn it in my early 20s. But it's like, right at the end of it, I started listening to stuff like at 23. And I'm going to be real, Kevin Samuels. I got a lot of this from him. Women don't understand the importance of thinking and understand. I don't mean it Steve Harvey style, but thinking like a man. We are so busy thinking like how women do. We like older men. We like financial stability. We like education. And we think that because this is what we like, we project it onto what men like and what men want. And so we think that because we have these things, we can provide these things, that we can get better men, that more men will like us, etc. And yes, you do put yourself in a position where you could be in certain groups and calibers or whatever you want to call it, and social circles, etc. Because you have the credentials, you have the whatever. But at the same time, if you don't have the looks, you don't have what these men truly want. And it's not said you got to be the most beautiful woman in the world to get married, but you have to recognize that youth and beauty go hand in hand for men, and that's what they value. Just like for us, money and education, my voice cracked, go hand in hand for women. It's what we want out of a man. So if you're not giving us that, you're not educated, you're not making bank, we don't want you. We're going to choose another man over you, even if he's shorter, uglier, fatter, older. We want that man. Men do not care about your PhD. They don't care that you making 6 figures. Some bummy old pookie nigga will. But generally speaking, men are not going to be like, oh my gosh, she has a PhD, I should choose her. No. They're going to want the youngest, legal of course, most attractive woman they can get. Most men, if they can choose, they typically like a girl that is somewhere between 20 to 25 years old. That's their preference. Preferably under 25. Normally that 24, 22 age range. Somewhere within those 3 to 4 years is their preference. It's not about what you even look like. But looks do matter. So if you do look older, you're going to make it harder for yourself. They are biologically, genetically designed that way to like and seek after beauty. It's what they find attractive. Women naturally like older men because we like a dominant leader. We like financial stability. We naturally prefer men that fit this stereotype, this criteria, this whatever. You can find those exceptions to the rule, you know, women that marry otherwise. But generally speaking, that's what we want. That's what we're going to marry. That's what we're going to pursue. And so, yes, like, you have to think from their perspective. Not about what you like as a woman. Not about what your daddy says or what your brother. No, no, no. Men in general, what do they like? What do they want? What do they seek after? And until you do that, you will find yourself wasting years and months and days of your life. Because your time is valuable. You can't afford to date the wrong man for a year, for 3 years, for 5 years. I'm not trying to encourage you to rush into a bad relationship, but I am telling you, you need to recognize that if you do choose to wait things out, 2 things should change your mind, as I already said. That man will never do that for you. And 2, you are taking a huge gamble. Because if for any reason he doesn't want you, now you've made it 5 or 10 times harder for another man to want you. A lot of men will date a girl in their 30s, but will they marry you? And I'm not saying that you ain't gonna get married. This is not trying to be a fear-mongering video, because some girl go, oh, I got married at 39 years old. That's great and beautiful. I'm not trying to discourage women from getting married when they're old. I'm not trying to bash or crap on women. That's not my purpose. I wish I got married younger myself. My purpose is to be real and honest with you that we're being tricked. We're being tricked by a lot of older women. We're being tricked by, unfortunately, some of the men in our lives too, where we are believing that our age doesn't matter, that our looks don't matter at all. And the reality is your age is extremely important. It's not just about having children, because a lot of women are like, oh, I don't want kids anyway, whatever. And it's not about you just wanting kids. It's just a thing that men like. They like beauty and youth. It's not about just having children. And let's keep it real, most women do want kids. A lot of women are lying to themselves and pretend that they don't. Because of their age, because of what society has said about them. And there's nothing wrong with getting married when you're older. There's nothing wrong with wanting kids. I'm trying to help you recognize that the best thing to do is when you're in your 20s. It's the easiest. You do need to make an informed decision. You do need to be smart about it. I'm not trying to encourage you to be desperate, just marry the first person that offers. That's not my purpose in saying this. I've had plenty of opportunities to get married before I turned 25, and I turned them down. And I started to regret them when I got to be 25, 26. Oh my God, I'm getting old for getting married. So I totally understand. This is not me to bash or make, I'm better than you type thing. It's not what I'm getting at. I'm trying to help you have the best chances possible. And it's not too late. Don't think, oh, I'm already 30, or I'm 33, or I'm 35. It's too late for me. No. Get on it. The sooner you do this, the better. I promise you. You will change your life if you give yourself new rules for dating. I changed it to where I need you to know within, you have 3 to 6 months to decide you want to marry me. You have 1 year to make it happen. If the man don't want you, he gonna run away. If the man wants you, he gonna try to compromise. He gonna try to make it happen. It's that simple. Don't let these dudes string you along. And there's also so much, and this is funny too, there's such a big double standard, because see, society, like even for me, they'll crap and be, oh, you got married too fast, whatever. And it's like, yeah, I totally understand why people would think or feel that way. But at the same time, it's like, okay, then you date somebody for 3 or 5 years, people crap and you're like, why you date him for so long? Or things end up getting messed up, and now you just waste 3 years of your life. 3 years later, I'm gonna be what, 28, 29, 30? I'll be 30 years old. Technically 31. Why would I do that to myself? I'm taking a huge risk and gamble. This is my currency, my youth. I'm deciding that I'm betting that you will marry me by sticking around for 3 years in the hopes that you do it. And let's also keep it real for a lot of people, especially here in Japan. When you're in the dating phase, your goal is to pretend like you're perfect and you don't do anything wrong. Like your doo-doo don't stink. You wait until you get married to show your bad side. That's what's really going on too. So you're making your life harder too, because you gotta pretend like you're this perfect princess, angelic angel that doesn't do anything wrong. You smell good, you look good, you always wear makeup, your hair is always perfect, you always get your hair extensions in, etc. You're this perfect, person basically. You get fooled off of 2 bites of lettuce. That's what you're supposed to act like here. The longer you date, the more you gotta keep up with that crazy bullshit too. I didn't even do that. In fact, I'll make a video about this later too. That's one of the reasons why my husband decided to marry me. It was something different than what he experienced. I asked him why he decided to marry me. And when he said that, it actually shocked me. It wasn't traditional, oh, you know, most beautiful girl in the world. I was crazy enough to be myself. If I disagreed, I said it. If I was angry, I showed it. Normally, that's not the way that you do things. You pretend to be perfect. I'm letting you know what you're getting into before you sign the papers. No, I wasn't some crazy ghetto angry black woman yelling, howling. That wasn't what I'm getting at. But I was real. A lot of you will put on that front and be these perfect women, act like wives for years and never even get that ring. Don't waste your time. If you've already wasted time, your life is not over. You have time. You can fix this. My goal is just to tell you, for women, especially in your 30s, not to waste more of your time. That's my point. It's not to bash you. You can't go back in time. Okay, we're not trying to go back in time. So I'm not getting that. I'm not trying to make you feel bad about decisions. I'm telling you that you don't want to be in a worse position 5 years from now, 10 years from now. So prioritize what you want in life. If you value getting married, make it happen. Decide that you want to be a wife, but make sure that while you're treating him like a wife, he's treating you like a husband. Your man should be doing husband-like stuff. My husband was paying for me. He was paying my bills. He was buying me food. He was giving me experiences. He took care of me before we got married. He's done even more. We've only been married for 2 weeks now. Exactly 2 weeks today, actually. He's done more for me during these 2 weeks. Of course. But he gave me a preview of what it was going to be like to be this man's wife. It should be mutual. It should be reciprocated. It's not a matter of you not being enough of a wife. The question should be, if he knows that you're not being enough of a wife for him to marry you, why is he wasting your time and stringing you along and still dating and effing with you? It's gaslighting. It's reverse psychology. Instead of acknowledging the fact that these men are players and cheaters and liars and time wasters and thieves, they blame you. You're not enough of a wife. How are you being enough of a husband? These are the niggas that think they doing some shit because they dropped $40 on a date at Denny's. They gave you $30 to get a manicure. That makes you a husband? Or let's be realistic, a lot of these niggas don't even want to do that. You gotta pay for half. A lot of these women feel like they've won something because, oh, well, after 6 years of dating, he married me. You think he would have waited 6 years for you? If he wanted to get married? Let's keep it real. You were begging on your knees and desperately waiting to get married. And you got lucky. You weren't his first choice. Because if you were, he wouldn't have needed 6 years. He wouldn't have needed 10 years. He would have needed 5. I'm not talking about childhood sweethearts. I'm talking about grown folks dating. Society has made us think that this is normal. And it's not. And like I said, it goes back to what I said. Men always put themselves first. They will not sacrifice. They will not compromise. They would rather lose you than the dream. If they have a goal in mind, they're going to do this. You can choose. You going to wait it out and come for the ride? Or you can get lost. That's your ultimatum. Women decide, well, I really want to get married, but I really like this guy. Okay, I'll give him 2 more years. Or, okay, we can date for 3. No. Men don't do that. That's a woman thing. Women do that. Women don't put themselves first. That's why I'm going to keep it real. I get messages from people all the time. In my DMs, in my email box, in my inbox, telling me they need help, they need advice. They've been dating this guy for X amount of time. They really want to get married. Or they really want to be his girlfriend, but they don't know, he needs time and blah blah. And it's like, he doesn't want you. Even if I am wrong in the meantime, and he comes back to you 3 months later, 6 months later, a year later, you were not his first choice. He doesn't really love you. And the best thing, this sounds so generic, so cliche, but it's so true. That saying where it's like, if you're really in love, you wouldn't have to ask that question. You would never fall in love, or you had to choose between a second person. It's literally that scenario. And that's how I feel right now. I thought I could never get over my exes. But if I were to be shown all of, like, I'm talking about my ex-fiance, like the nigga that I never had so much of a, like, psychological meltdown, breakdown, suicidal type situation in my life than with my ex Friota, keeping it real. And when I was done with that relationship, when we were finished, I didn't know how to function anymore. Okay? But if you were to give me a room with him there right now, and I had to choose between him and my now husband, I wouldn't have to think twice. Block, delete, goodbye, good luck, I wish you the best. Wouldn't have to think twice about it. I love my husband. I married well. I chose a good partner. I want that for you. You do not have time to waste when you are 25 and up. And even when you're in your early 20s, you should not be dating for more than a year, is how I see it. 1 year. When you're in high school, you can do those little 3-year relationships. It's cute and whatnot. As an adult, maximum amount of time you should be dating is 3 years. That's the max. When you're in your 30s, you ain't got 3 years to waste. You're in your late 20s, you ain't got 3 years to waste. After you turn 24, 3-year relationships are done. You don't have time for that anymore. And like I said, just remember, these men don't do that with you. When they want you, they tell you that they want you. They show you that they want you. And if they don't have it in their mind that they should be getting married right now, tell them it's okay to do that. And if they still don't compromise and decide, you know what, I want to keep this girl, let me marry her, you're not the one. Run. Move on. Leave. It's okay. Because if you don't, you're wasting your own time, you're wasting your own money, and you're going to make it harder to find a new man. Because going back out there, being 30 years old, 29, 35, whatever, it ain't going to be easy for you. So, I'm done. I'm just, rambling at this point. But it's really made me so upset seeing that. Because I'm like, why are we acting like wives when you don't have to act like a husband? And even although these girls are cooking, cleaning, doing everything else for you, and giving you sex, and having your babies and everything, that's not enough to marry them. Excuse me. Not enough to marry you. But then here you are, you don't do anything for us. You all don't want to pay bills. You don't want to pay for dates. I mean, you do pay bills and pay for dates. It's cheap shit, like, $50 phone bill, or, I don't know, $60 or $40 restaurant. Some, cheap shit like that. And it's like, okay. And that's only occasionally. So you don't have to be more of a husband, but we need to be more of a wife. And then instead of taking accountability that if you don't want to get married, then 1, say that to the girl so she knows, and 2, don't date women that want to get married in the first place, because that's the bogus thing too. Men will keep that to themselves. They make you have to pry that information out of them. Most men will not tell you up front, like, I don't want a relationship, I ain't trying to get married, I don't want to have kids. They'll just date you and fuck you. And then you gotta be the one to have the uncomfortable conversation about that. And a lot of men will lie to you. They'll tell you whatever they think you want to hear to get in your pants. Especially, I'm speaking on Japan, but it goes the same way in the U.S. and other countries too. They'll tell you whatever they think you want to hear. Their goal is just to get what they want. That's husband material. That's husband-like. That's manly. That's masculine. Oh, okay. They have so many strong opinions of women being wives. And I'm like, you're living with your mama. You guys are on Section 8. You're getting food stamps. You scam people for a living. You still dressing like you in high school. Oh, yes, you're definitely husband material. I need to get with a nigger like you. bullshit. So, yeah, the best advice I can really give you is value your time like how a man values his. Value your dreams and goals like how a man values his. Compromising is okay, but some things you don't want to compromise on. Or if you do compromise, it has to be within reason. Compromising should not mean that you're gambling and you're putting in, you're risking more than what they are. Giving somebody a 3-year trial to decide if they want to marry you is ridiculous. You know everything you need to know at that point. You can get to know a person very well within a year. Especially if you're dating them frequently. The more you date them, the faster you get to know them. For example, I only dated my husband for a few months. But you want to know what? We were living together. We saw each other every day. We spent all of our time together. We had a year's worth of dates within that time. For a lot of people, if you're only seeing your partner once a week, then you're dating a year, it's more like dating a month for what I did. So, or less. So, it's whatever. You can't really put a time frame on it. Like I said, men know. You can't put a time frame on it in that sense. Excuse me. But you can put it on this. Men know what they want. They pursue what they want. They chase what they want. They get what they want. Women get what they can get. They don't know what they want. They don't. And because of that, they fall for the okie doke. They fall for these little stupid tricks. They fall for these dumb games. They end up, making babies with the wrong person because they just want to have a child. That's why you get women in their 30s and whatnot that, suddenly become first-time single moms, whatever. Because they realize their biological clock is ticking. They're running out of time to have babies naturally, healthy, in an easy way. IVF don't work for everybody. It's not natural. I'm not trying to bash people to get it done. Shoot, I might need it myself, but I'm just saying, it's making it harder for yourself. The younger you do these things, the better, the easier. So, I'm done. I'm just so upset seeing that. And I say this as a wife. This is not me being bitter, jaded, jealous, whatever. I just recognize that myself went through this crap and I felt that I wasn't doing enough. It's like, no, you're doing a lot and you're doing more than enough just for the wrong person. And this is not to make you feel good. For those ladies that don't do this stuff, you do need to act like a wife. Don't get me wrong. The advice is right. You do need to act like a wife if you want to be a wife. Because men are not going to take a risk with you and be like, oh, well, I hope she'll cook and clean for me. What if you're awful cook? What if you're a horrible organizer? You do need to show him that you are capable of being a wife. But why are you acting like a housewife for a man that don't want a housewife? Or a wife, period? You're entertaining the wrong person. Likewise, why are you doing this for somebody that's not reciprocating? He should be showing you that he's going to take care of and provide for you as your husband and pleasure you as your husband. This man won't even go down on you. You're wasting your time, girl. So, I'm finished. I'm rambling, I'm ranting. I hope you guys get what I'm trying to say, but yeah. Thank you for listening, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, leave me a comment down below. Give me your 2 cents on this. Have you been in a situation like this? Because I know I definitely have. Definitely dated people where I felt like I was doing everything, and I, listen, I don't want to get married yet. Maybe 3, 4, 5 years from now. We're so young. And it's like, okay, so you rather lose me than compromise and get married a little bit younger than you were initially planning? Not to mention, it's like, these men will pressure you to wait until you're, I'm going to go on this video even longer. Wait until you're older. But then it's like, okay, these are the same men that'll leave you if you can't give them children. The same men that'll stress you out because you can't have babies and you want to. The same men that'll stress you out because their parents want grandkids and you can't give them to them. Oh, okay. The same man that'll still tell you 5 years later, oh, we don't have enough money, I can't afford diapers. Why weren't you saving during these 5 years? So it's like, don't let these men waste your time. The right man will compromise, change his mind, and marry you because he knows that you're the one. The wrong man will tell you, oh, give me 5 years, give me 3 years. I need time, whatever. I'm so young. I don't want to get married. Oh, it's just a piece of paper, it's just a certificate. We don't need a ring, baby. They'll usher you to death. We don't need a ring. Crap like that. They'll say the type of shit to you. Anything to get what they want. Don't do that. So, I forgot what that song. That put it on my heart. You don't need a ring. Whatever thing. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Anyway. That There Goes My Baby song by Usher. But please, ladies, know what you want, get what you want, prioritize marriage, prioritize having children, prioritize your happiness over his. It's gonna hurt. You're gonna have to walk away from some men that seem good, some high value men. I've had to do it too. But you have to recognize you want to be happy. You want to get what you want. It shouldn't just be you doing everything for him and you don't get shit out of it. Prioritize yourself. Prioritize your own happiness. Do what you have to do to make sure you become a wife. You ain't gotta be dirty and mudsling and lie on people, whatever. But if people are not benefiting you, they're not giving you what you need, what you want, their plans are not lining up with yours, you need to go and find someone else who does. Don't do for someone else what they will not do for you. This isn't about treating people the way you want to be treated. We're talking about dating here. I ain't saying you got to do them dirty. But recognize, will that man wait 5 years for me? Then why am I waiting 5 years for him? He's not going to be okay with me saying, well, I don't want to have sex then until we get married. He'll be like, okay, bitch. You're going to be a backup call-up girl when he bored and just want to hang out with somebody. He going to be fucking a girl down the street, though. Don't sit and be a little lapdog for him, waiting for him to just hope and pray that he decides to marry you. Shoot, some of y'all wait 5 years for these men, and they don't even want to have a wedding. They don't want to have rings, nothing. So, I'm done. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment down below. Like this video if you have any questions. Please leave a comment. If you have any video ideas, please leave a comment down below as well. You can also email me. Please don't DM. Email me your video ideas. My email is in the description box below. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Comic95. You guys already know my Snapchat, TikTok at Comic the Savior. The links are all in the description. Don't forget my blog at Comic95.com and my Facebook fan page at Comic95 the Savior. Thank you for listening and thank you for watching, and I hope you'll watch another video. Bye!